How long should a Disney World trip be in order to feel worth it?
6 months.
This is a great question we received from Candace Owens. She asks, how long should a Disney World trip to be in order to feel worth it, but also not have to go to the parks every day?
That's a great question.
6 months. I like that idea.
I mean, that's significant, but that's going to take a significant budget as well. So
yeah,
that may be a little tricky to figure out.
Yeah. Well, listen, not everyone can go to Disney for a long time, including us. So as little as 5 days is always worth it. But I wanted to talk about I feel like, best trips and what I felt was the most quality and what we got the most bang for our buck.
Okay.
So this goes back to our Polynesian days.
Yes.
Our heart says Polly, but our wallet says Pop.
On sale now at Unlocking the Magic Shop. You can also get snack goals if you want. But before let me just cut you off right there, Connie. Don't forget to text us your question. This question is from Candace.
Mm-hmm.
But text us your question, 978-222-7383, and we'll answer them right here on this here YouTube channel.
Love it. I say the heart says Polly and a wallet says Pop lately. That's been sort of our budget lately, which isn't bad. I'm not trying to shoot down the Pop, but I do want to talk about like our perfect vacation. And I just keep reflecting back to our week-long trips. It's usually 10 days is what I felt like we got the most out of Walt Disney World and left feeling super satisfied, almost tired, but like very, very happy.
Right. I feel like you're right about that. You should go, I feel like 7 days minimum.
Yeah.
Like 5 days goes by quick. When you're on vacation, like 5 days sounds like a great trip, but then when you're there, all right, so you get there the first day, right?
Yeah.
And then the second day, you're like, oh man, we only have 3 days left.
It's just like the countdown begins.
Right. And then the third day, you're already kind of getting ready to pack up and get home. So you're not even really getting a chance to really absorb and enjoy your time. So I feel like in order to get the most bang for your buck and enjoy the parks, if you want to go every park, it has to be a minimum of 7 days.
See, I like 7, but I love 10. 10.
Oh, of course. Listen, anything above 7 is a bonus.
I feel like 10 is the perfect amount because you get there. You can even split it up where what we used to do is we would arrive on day 1. We would do off property and it would be a nice hotel with a good pool, and we'd kind of get the excitement going the first day, but we were kind of saving money. And then it was like an addition to our trip. Then all of a sudden the next day is like a whole nother trip began.
Yeah.
And when you stretch it out 10 days, you can have that feeling of going to the parks, which I love, every other day. I hate going to parks back to back. I don't know if it's because I'm older or what, or if it's because we have too many children with us and
that's quite a possibility right there.
It gets really tiring, but I feel like the best way to enjoy a trip to Walt Disney World is do one park one day, a resort day the next, and then again, you're refreshed and you can hit the parks again.
Yeah, I think you're remembering back to when we did do every other day at the parks. You get to go to the park at open, stay till it closes, knowing in the back of your mind that tomorrow's just hanging out by the pool and relaxing at the resort.
Literally, like you can let the kids sleep in if they choose to the next day, or and you're not going to feel guilty.
I always let the kids sleep in.
I know you do.
I want to let the kids sleep in as long as possible, and I sneak out of the room at about 6:30. Let them sleep
Every
until
time.
about 9:30. That's 3 full hours alone, drinking coffee, hanging out at the resort without having to deal with kids.
But it's like a good point to, like you said earlier, was like you could stay as long as you can or want to at the parks the day before, knowing that the next day is going to be a relaxing day at your resort, whether you want to just hang by the pool or maybe do some resort activities. You can fit it in without that pressure of having to wake up early to go to the park the next day.
Right.
So I really that's sort of what I want to do again. Can we do this again?
Maybe.
All right, 10 days.
I have a new shirt idea.
Okay.
My heart says week, but my wallet says weekend.
Weekend. Perfect.
Yeah, you can only afford 3 days.
That's perfect.
I want to go 10, but my wallet says 4.
I love it. Sign us up.
So I think you've gone, because we've gone to the parks many weeks. We've gone, I feel like the last 4 or 5 times we've gone for 7 days.
Yeah, it is. And to me, that's a little too short because, again, if you want to hit all 4 parks, you really got to cram some in back to back in order to, get to all of them. And so it can be a little exhausting, and I don't like that.
And even though it's a long day, like you go to the Magic Kingdom and you get there at 8 if it opens that early, and you stay till like maybe 10 or 11.
Yeah.
It feels like hours-wise, that's a long day, but it goes by so quick.
I feel kind of weird saying that 7 days isn't enough. Like, what a brat I am.
Well, listen, we don't always go for 10 days, so you're not necessarily saying that we go for 10 days every time, and that's why.
True.
The ideal situation would be 10 days, but sometimes you can only go 5.
Right.
So maximize that.
And it also depends on where you're from, right? So we have a lot of listeners from the UK, from Australia, and obviously if they're going to make this long trek all the way to the United States, they don't want to leave, within a week. So for them, I've heard of, as long as 14 days as a trip, and I think that would be epic.
I mean, we have a lot of people from the UK in our Patreon group.
Yeah.
And they always say, hey, we're going to Disney for 14 days. And I'm like, I get so jealous.
So jealous.
I wish we could go to Disney for 14 days. Maybe someday we'll go to Disney for 14 days.
I know between the 10th day, I know I'm okay and never happy.
Content.
I'm never happy to go home.
Yeah.
Let's just be honest. But I'm content.
You're satisfied. You feel like after 10 days, you know what? I have a satisfying trip. I got to do everything I wanted to do. We stayed here for 10 days, relaxed, and got to have fun at the parks. And you know what? I feel okay going home. You're never
Absolutely.
like, I want to go home.
Right.
But you're like, I get it. I got to go home.
Right. My feet kind of hurt. My hips hurt. Like, I don't know what that's all about, but the kids even complain who actually are pretty active. I always look back to even our nieces who were avid runners. And they would always complain, like day 6 on our trip, that their thighs would hurt.
This is nonstop walking. You should look at your, like, if you have an iPhone or an Android phone, you could have the speed, like the step app.
Yeah, 13,000, I think.
I think it was like 27,000 steps one day when we were at Epcot. It was amazing.
Never do any of that at home, only in Walt Disney
That's
World.
why calories don't count there.
Exactly.
So anyway.
All right.
Yeah, so go for 10 days.
Okay.
That's going to be your best day.
I love how you always have like an answer in your mind, and then I always change it.
That's true.
So you said 7, and now you're saying 10. I love it.
Story of my life.
Mm-hmm.
All right, if you have a question, text us 978-222-7383. We'll answer them right here on the YouTube channel. If you have not yet, do 2 things. Hit the subscribe button. Make sure you subscribe to this channel. Throw a comment down below. When was your best Disney vacation? How long was it? Was it 7 days, 10 days,
5.
1 day? Did you just pop in and out in half an hour? Let us know what it was. We'll pick one winner for a free Unlocking the Magic t-shirt of your choice on next week's YouTube channel. So leave it below, and we'll see you right here. Oh, also subscribe to our podcast.
There's a lot to do here, folks. Sorry.
That is also true. All right,
Bye,
see you guys.
everybody.